stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on 2 separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on 2 separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound, impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivy in the air chair. I know we're getting started about 15, 20 minutes late. I ran into a couple of tech difficulties before we started, and I want to make sure we stay connected once we got connected. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. And as typically, there is numerous things I want to share with you this morning. I want to give you some Amber Guyger updates. Yeah. Apparently now during the sentencing phase, the prosecution, they dropped another one, like boom. And apparently Amber Guyger was saying some things that are, we'll say questionable during some text messages with other officers, including what people are saying is a joke she made about, the death of Martin Luther King. Apparently she was out in the streets and maybe she wasn't happy with the assignment. And, she decided that okay, great. So, and she's texting back and forth with someone, and she makes a comment about, basically the comment is when MLK is dead. Now, apparently they were on MLK, right? Like, there's an MLK street all over in probably every state. There's at least one street named after Martin Luther King. And she makes a comment like, well, when you're going to be, I'll read the entire comment to you so you can decide whether the media is making this into something bigger than what it really is, or in fact, is she saying something that's really troubling about Martin Luther King, like the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King that everybody runs around and says that they respect? This is crazy. How many people are surprised that Amber Guyger was actually found guilty of murder, no less? Not the lesser charge. Raise your hand if you are surprised by that, or are you relieved? What's the single most important factor you think in this conviction? Is it the makeup of the jury? I think so. I think they got some folks out there that they didn't go Tracy Hunter. They kept it real. And I want to get your thoughts about it. Also, there's been an update. An appellate court has now ruled on net neutrality. Now, I've been sharing with you since day one. This is one of my biggest concerns about having a Republican in the White House, and that is the control of the FCC. And the Republican Party, the telecommunications companies, Comcast, Verizon, they're sitting back waiting to see what happens with these court proceedings. So if you don't remember, this happened shortly after Trump took office. There was a change in what's called net neutrality rules. Net neutrality refers to basically the fact that those who provide you with internet, they have to remain neutral on the content. They can't pick winners and choosers and favor certain content over other content. Within their network, they must remain neutral. That's great for you and us as the consumer. That's why the internet, one of the many reasons why the internet is what it is today. One of the many reasons why the internet is what it is today, why it's so popular, why people are doing YouTube and Facebook and all that shit, is because of net neutrality, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, I'm here to tell you. But I'll give you the updates on it. We must discuss. 513-873-7134. Today's show is brought to you by the Erica J. Holloman Foundation. They'll be hosting a free event for the awareness of triple-negative breast cancer this Saturday, October 5th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us at Mango's, located at 7121 Dixie Highway in Fairfield, for an afternoon of music and mammograms. When was your last mammogram? The TriHealth Mammogram Van will be available for breast cancer screenings. Be sure to come out and support the Erica J. Holloman Foundation and learn more about triple-negative breast cancer killing Black women at an alarming rate, because it is particularly you know, nasty disease when it comes to black women, unfortunately, there isn't as much research as there might be for other forms of breast cancer. I want to raise some awareness. This is Breast Cancer Month. Please, ladies, take care of yourself. We need you. I don't care what these buster ass niggas say. We need you. We need you. Good morning. 513. This thing don't work without the sisters. This shit don't work. Excuse my language. This don't work. None of this works in our community without the sisters. So if you have time, I'd love to see you. I'll be out there. I'm going to be out there very early at 3. I'll be there. I'd love to see you. Love to see you, man. That's important. Okay, so Amber Guyger this morning, we got to hit that, give you the updates on what's going on, the sentencing phase. Is she going to get 5 years or 99 years? And I think she should go to jail for a very long time because it's my belief. I've just put this together on my own. I'm not telling you I've got some inside track or some information not available to you. But it's just my belief that what happened is Amber Guyger thought that she was in her house. I think there's an element of truth there. But what happened next was what you don't expect from law enforcement. Here's what I think happened. I think what happened is she thought she was at home. She thought that somebody was in her house, and she became Judge Dredd. I am the law. She's the law now. Judge, jury, and executioner. And she said to herself, oh, because, you know, black people do this all the time. We say this all the time. I wish a mofo would. You ever said that before? Of course you did. I wish a mofo would say something to me like that. That's black people. Cedric the Entertainer enshrined that. I think it was in the Kings of Comedy. He was right. And I think it's some members of law enforcement the same way. I think that's what happened with Amber Guyger. She thought she was at home, and she thought somebody was in her house. And because of it, all bets were off. And what's crazy is if it had been, she probably would have walked. No charges. Which I think still would have been a problem. Even if it was her house, I don't think she should have executed the brother the way she did. She did a double tap to the heart. One of them hit his chest and heart. I remember watching the trial, and they were talking about the route that the bullet traveled in his body, and it's very grisly. It ain't nothing good about hearing that. And I think she got caught up in her attitude like, oh, well, you came into a cop's house, you gonna die today, boo. And that's what she did. She didn't think nothing else about it until she realized, oh, it's the wrong house. That's when she got upset because she knew that if that had been her house, she could have, in the exact same scenario, somebody shot her, she could have shot him 15 times and got away with it. That's what I think. And from what I'm gathering now with some of the information that's coming out about Amber Guyger and some of the little jokes that she was telling about race, who out there is texting Martin Luther King jokes about him dying? Who the fuck? Excuse my language. Sorry. Who's doing that? Are you doing that? Because I can't roll with nobody like that. Who's out there texting? Let me see your phone. Who's out there texting jokes about dead civil rights leaders? I don't know nobody like that. People don't play with me like that. Do people play with you like that? You have family members that send you jokes about dead civil rights, iconic leaders? This man was a family man, blown away in front of his family, basically, in front of the nation, because he wanted to bring black and brown people together and bring some parity to the system. You think that's funny? I ain't never told no joke in my life about nothing like that. Have you? Keep it to yourself, homie. I don't want, because I will think different of you. I will think different of you. So, you know, I think that I hope that Amber Guyger goes to jail for a long time. A long, long time. Because this wasn't no damn mistake. She meant to kill this man. She had a choice. She could have just retreated, fall back on the training, wait for the boys to show up. And as she did that, within a couple of minutes, they would have ascertained, oh, Amber, you live on the 3rd floor. This is the 4th floor. Oh, schnuck. They would have knocked on the door and said, I'm so sorry, sir. It would have been over. Now, they probably would have got a lawsuit, but she wouldn't be going to jail. Both them, I've been saying Botham, but both them, John, he he'd be alive today, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, when I see them pictures of this young brother standing there with his sister, his brother, his mama, burns me up. Burns me up, man. And, you know, it's real funny how this works. Again, it was Donnie B who brought this out on the Is It Just Me podcast, which is up right now on Spreaker. Check it out. That the Dallas Police Department had this practice. And that is when they're processing a police officer who may have possibly committed some kind of violation or, I don't know, killed somebody like she did. That here's what they did in Dallas, is that they turn off the body cam for you, and then when you're being processed, so when you're being transported in the back of the cruiser, they turn off all the recording devices because, like you said, you know, like we know, once you're arrested, anything you say can and will be heard, will be used against you. And as Donnie B brought out on the Is It Just Me podcast, this Friday, 12:30 p.m., you can watch it or listen to it live. This is a common practice when it comes to you and me, right? You know, you living in Dallas, when they arrest you, the recording devices are on the whole time while you driving down to be processed. What's the policy here in Cincinnati? Where's the policy where you live at? Is there like a separate policy for police officers? You know what I'm saying? How many people have been incriminated because of something they said while they was in the back of the cruiser? The officer's talking to you like y'all buddies. You just get to talking. Next thing you know, you didn't blew your own deal. You blew your own deal. More needs to be examined. And then the officer that got on the stand, who was like, oh yeah, well, I think it was a good shooting. That mofo needs to go too. He needs to go too. He doesn't need to be on the force. You think this is a good shooting? Oh, I mean, well, you know, she thought it was her. I mean, if we're going to do that, man, then you can commit any crime you want to. You can be sitting in traffic, look over, see somebody like, oh my God, I think they're going to shoot me. You shoot them first. I thought he had a gun. And your evidence is, look at the headlines. Look at the headlines. Psh, man, it's crazy out here. Amber Guyger has to go to jail. No, just for the order of the social order of the world. For common sense, she got to go to jail, y'all. Period. And in a perfect world, that officer that got on the stand and basically was willing to say whatever it took to help her, his ass needs to go too. That's a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world, do we? Not at all, my friends. Not at all. 513-873-7134. Again, that's my number. All I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. Locally here, a couple things going on. Looks like Cincinnati police have arrested a man who may have been the trigger person in a homicide. Somebody was on the bus. Bullet pierces the bus, kills this person, innocent bystander. The hell? And it got me to thinking, man, maybe what Cincinnati needs is a street code. I don't know if this thing is enforceable or how you would go about it, but a street code. Because the more I think about it, like, there's always going to be an underground economy, right? That ain't going nowhere. I don't care what you do. It's always going to be an underground economy. I just got your email, Anthony. He's asking about the CCW class. October the 13th, everybody. I'll talk more about it in a second. But there's always going to be an underground economy. Therefore, there's always going to be the need to protect that underground economy. And when humor's involved with anything, it's always going to be some BS, okay? So we can't really stop the street trade. We can't stop what's happening in these streets. But maybe we can bring a measure of order to it with a street code, like, you know, no drive-bys, right? I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me that there used to be more integrity in the game. Now it's just anything goes. You don't know what's happening. Innocent bystanders. How many innocent bystanders have to be killed in Cincinnati until we adopt a street code? Like, look, you're going to do what you're going to do, but do it within these parameters so, you know, people that's not in the game don't get caught up in the game. Is that too much to fucking ask? freaking acts? No, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? No nonsense on Sundays. No nonsense around kids. No drive-bys. I mean, there are other cities that have adopted these kind of measures. I'm not sure how well they're working, but now I know that people will say we can't have no street code because basically what you're saying is you basically saying that you aid and abetting violence. Not really. That's the same stupid ass argument they made about hypodermic, like clean needles. I remember 20 years ago being on the air and arguing common sense and logic, and people couldn't understand it. What you mean? What you mean give them hypodermic needles? All they gonna do is keep on using. Earth to idiot. They're using anyway, man. You ain't stopping these users. At the very least, maybe we can stop some of these diseases out here by giving these individuals clean needles. Same thing with the conversation about condoms. You can't give young people condoms. Oh my God, they're gonna start using them. If you give them condoms, they're gonna use them. Earth to idiot. That's what we want. We want people to use them because they're going to have sex anyway. That's how we all got here. How old were you when you first had sex? More than likely, you were young. Did you use a condom? I don't know. You tell me. We need a street code in Cincinnati. We need a street code for these street dudes to adopt so they ain't mistakenly killing these innocent bystanders, people at the damn bus. You're on the bus. It's too much to ask. Anything goes. Anything goes. Have you ever vaped before? How many people are into vaping? Raise your hand if you love vaping. Be shy. Let me see. Nice and high there. Let me see. You in the back. Don't be shy. Come forward. Okay. All right. Well, our illustrious governor, Mike DeWine, is asking Ohio lawmakers to ban flavored vape products. I didn't know they had flavoring, but that's how they get you with the flavoring. Humans are suckers. We just so simple creatures, man. Mofo put some cherry flavoring on anything. People want to consume it. Oh, you got grape? Oh, cool. Grape? Let me get purple. Oh, this kind of dumb-ish. Let me get purple. Uh-huh. You mean grape? Grapes? I'm over at the office space, so I'm not at home right now, and the wifey's at work anyway, so it wouldn't work. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has asked lawmakers to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarette products as concerns grow about the health effects of vaping. Apparently, as we speak right now, you got about a dozen teenagers, maybe a little bit less than that, who have contracted some unknown illness, right? The doctors don't know what the hell it is. It's completely destroying their lungs. And some of these cats, as I sit here right now, are in comas, medically induced comas. This vaping thing, what the hell are they putting in this vaping stuff? From what I read, the scientists are getting together, right? And what happens is, like I told you, it's going to be a black market for everything. There's a black market for vaping. There's people out there, you want, I got you. Buying this stuff off the street. You got these street dudes reloading the cartridges and selling them to people because it's easier. It's less conspicuous. Smoking a blunt. Well, politicians appear to be trying to address this in Ohio. Mike DeWine, again a Republican, said Tuesday that the ban is needed to protect children from addiction. Where are these children's parents at? There is a bill that was introduced last week banning the sale of flavored vaping products and creating a committee to study the effects of vaping products on health. So what I read within the last 24 hours is that there are some of these devices that are like bootleg, and people have smoked it. And the substance inside, when it gets superheated, it creates like it creates like an oil that when it gets in your lungs completely destroys your lungs. I bet you didn't I'm bad you want to get high, B. You want to get high that bad? The Ohio Health Department has identified 22 cases of severe breathing illnesses caused by vaping. And they're investigating 19 additional cases. More than 800 cases of similar lung illness has been reported across the United States, all because of flavoring. Because you got grape? Oh, let me see. You got lime? Give me the lime one. We suckers, man. Human beings are suckers. It's so simple to get us. Just sprinkle a little lime, little flavoring on it. Some humans will jump on it with 2 hands. 2 hands. Hold on tight. Vaping. So, young people in your family or whatever, make sure you say something to about it. Say something like, what you know about vaping? Read them. Just throw it out there and see how they respond to it. I'm jumping around here, but I'm setting the table, and then we'll circle back around and talk about local issues until 9, and/or we can talk about Amber Guyger, because I think some of the issues in that case extend all over the country. But I want to mention this as well. 2 things. I got a video for you that I'm going to play. You hear the audio of Uncle Luke slamming Jay-Z. Said he's the NFL's token black guy. And then also we'll talk about Stacey Dash. Yes. Stacey Dash. What was that Kanye West video she did? All Fall Down? When she was running in slow motion looking back at you in the airport? Oh my God, that shit was so sexy. That was super sexy. I loved it. Stacey Dash. Going way, way back to 90s pop culture. Can anybody name for me the movie that she starred in? Okay, great. The movie that she starred in with Damon Wayans. Classic. Sound like I say. Well, Stacey Dash was recently arrested for domestic violence. And in the photographs that was out there initially, she wasn't looking like Stacey. She was looking like that crazy lady that lived down the street with a bunch of cats. Now, everybody knows Stacey Dash is no longer, she was excommunicated. I did Stacey Dash in my fantasy file like they do people on a job. We had security escort her to the door. Oh, yeah, and give me your badge. Thank you. You can't be in my fantasy file on that Donald Trump Republican crap unless you're extraordinarily beautiful. Then we can make an exception for you, as any man would. Well, she was recently arrested for domestic violence, and then some of the stuff that was coming out was crazy. Like, number one, she was broke. She had to get a public defender. I'm like, this is Stacey Dash. Them Fox News checks ain't rolling in no more. I think she started working with Fox News back in 2017, and it was because she was dissing. It was funny. She starred in a movie called Clueless, and she came across as clueless when she was a Fox analyst. I know you remember it. I remember it. I'm like, damn, this is Stacey Dash? I was expecting more. She wasn't too bright. She wasn't. She sounded like a damn fool on Fox News. She did. I have some clips for you, man. It sounded just dumb. She sounded like she was trying to get to be like Candace Owens, but she didn't. She wasn't articulate enough, or she didn't know enough about the whole Republican, talking points to really pull it off. You know what I'm saying? She just came off as a dumbass. And you may or may not know this, but she is cousins with former Rockefeller CEO Damon Dash. See it? Stacey Dash, Damon Dash. Man, back in the 90s, Stacey Dash was everything. Don't say she wasn't. She was everything. She was. Well, apparently she claimed to be set up by her husband and her 3 kids. She got 3 kids, 15, 14, and 10. Huh? What? And, my thoughts on that is, call Trump to get you out. That's my thoughts. Oh, man. She's asking for, that's how fast they fight. She can't get no money from Dame? The hell? Protect your people, man. Good morning to everybody. Let me greet the choppers. Good morning to you. I see Angela was first inside the chop shop. Good morning to you. Tracy writes hi. Magnanimous King writes good morning. Good morning, everybody. Carolyn Bryant writes good morning, people of Cincinnati. Great to see you, Carolyn. Brenda writes happy Wednesday. Carolyn writes Amber Guyger stole a page from my book on how to get a black man up out the paint. She didn't read the whole book. Crystal writes good morning. Majestic writes good morning, folks. Pat writes good morning. Magnanimous King writes kudos to that officer or officers who came forward with the text messages. Drops in the house. He writes good morning. Shout out to the lady choppers, he writes. Let me see here. Ray writes good morning. Mike Jones in the house. Good morning to you. Angela writes, Crystal writes, Matthew Knowles will be on Good Morning America this morning talking about his breast cancer diagnosis. Is that right? Interesting. Is that right? Angela writes, been getting yearly mammograms for at least 15 years since my mid-30s. Smart. Don't miss it. We need every sister. We need all the sisters, especially the sisters of the chop shop. We need you. I need you. Take care of yourself. Your family needs you. And that triple negative breast cancer it targets black women for reasons that I just don't have the scientific. I just can't articulate it, right now. But I do understand that is the case. Please take care of yourself. Magnanimous King writes, Mike Jones writes, karma for that racist cop. She should get the max. F her. The max is 99 years. I wouldn't shed a tear if she got 99 years. I don't think she is, though. The legal experts that I know are saying between 5 and 10 years. So I'm going to go with that. I don't know. But I think she should go to jail because it sets a bad precedent. It really did. And like I told you, my thoughts are she was on some Judge Dredd type stuff. Like, oh, you made this wrong. You broke into the wrong house today, bro. He was dead right then. She made up her mind right then. It's over. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
This is Pam, one of the choppers.
Hey, what's up, Pam? I didn't catch your voice.
Hey.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, can you hear me okay? I'm in the car.
I do. We hear you pretty good.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to let the choppers know this morning that I just recently became a certified health and wellness coach, and I told you guys I was working on this, and it's been a work in progress. But I don't know. I think you follow me on my page, and
absolutely.
It just only takes. Okay, great, awesome, thank you. It takes a few minutes. We all have a few minutes to move our bodies. It doesn't have to be, anything significant. Just a few minutes in the morning, get your circulation up. You just feel better from the inside. And I just want to encourage the choppers that you're never too old. It's never too late. I myself wound up having bilateral knee replacements 3 months apart, and now I'm able to run and jog and go up and down bleachers, things I never would have been able to do before. Of course, dropping weight was a part of that journey, and still a work in progress. So I just want to let the choppers know to stay encouraged. I'm working on the podcast that I just dropped, and I don't know what the future holds, but I'm super excited, and I know I have to put myself out there more, and I'm working on that as well. So, yeah.
Well, Pam, I 100% support you. I love it. Of course, I do follow you. We Facebook friends, and I love it. Please keep calling. Let us know what's going on. Where can people listen to the podcast?
Right now I'm on Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple right now. But you can search under Coach Pam, Certified Health and Wellness Coach. And I also have a YouTube channel. Follow me on my Facebook at Cocoon Moon Room, LLC. And, of course, I got that idea from the whole metamorphosis of a butterfly and the phases of the moon. And, I was at a point of I didn't think there was room for me in the world because I feel like there's so many people doing the same thing, but there's room for everybody. So that's how I got the idea for the name. I even have a book up that's on Amazon that I wrote 2 years ago. Didn't really promote it. I had a couple of book signings, but it is called Overcoming a Lifetime of Obesity, Shame, and Fear. So that's up. If anybody knows anyone that needs some encouragement, even just lifting off the weight of mental, depression and years of, battling that. So you can, of course, relate weight to many areas of your life. So not just a physical weight. But I'm headed to a meeting. I have to be in there at 9, so it looks like this parking is crazy. But yes, I enjoy your show, Nathan, and keep doing what you're doing. And I know you're going to be running for a political office soon. I don't know what's going to happen to the show when you do that. Are you dropping off at that point, or?
Well, I will reveal all to people really soon. Really soon.
Okay.
And you guys will be the first to know.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Pam, thank you so much for calling. I got a great idea. I'll be in contact. I'll hit you up via text later today.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Take it easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The choppers, Pam, everybody. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I mean, listen, you're right on both levels. There is a lot out there in the digital space. I won't say it's overpopulated, but there's a lot. But that don't mean you can't do your own thing. It don't mean you can't start your own podcast or whatever you want to do and create your own audience. People are doing it every single day. And I love it. I'm aware of what's going on, Pam. I already know. That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you for the call. It's good to hear a female voice. Good to hear that. Yeah, I know a lot of people that's doing stuff, and sometimes they can be a little bit shy about putting it out there, and I get it, because it's like, you don't know how people are going to take it. Nobody wants rejection and all that kind of stuff, but all I can say is two things. You might be surprised once you throw it out there. You might find an audience. You might connect with people who are like-minded. And then number two, thick skin. Who gives a damn what somebody says? Look at me. I make all kind of mistakes. We be on the show stops, stuff happens. Do you think I feel a certain way about that? I do, but you get back on the bicycle, you keep on going, period. You know what I'm saying? And people always going to have something negative to say. Keep that in mind. I don't care what you doing. Somebody going to say something about it. And if you're going to let that drive you or determine you, then you ain't going to never do shit. It's just the way it is. I'm not talking to Pam. I'm talking to everybody. So I get it, man. I felt it. It's people that do shit, it's not that they don't feel that anxiety. They just feel the anxiety and they do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? When I first kicked it off in radio, now I'm like a grizzled vet. And I control my own environment. When I'm on the air now, it's my environment. So, I'm a lot more comfortable now than I ever been before. But listen, you start out doing anything, it's like, you're going to feel nervous. Everybody feels nervous. I bet Beyonce still feel nervous. But she get out there and do it anyway. You walk through it. And get it done. So, again, I just respect people that create their own media, especially in today's world. Take advantage of the internet. And speaking of the internet, one of the reasons why I talk about net neutrality is because of what I'm doing, what Pam is doing, what people are doing away from sort of like traditional media. And we have to preserve and protect that. And net neutrality plays, whether you know it or not, it plays a big part of that. But we'll get to that later in the show. Let's go back to the phones and welcome in Fame. Good morning, Fame.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
That's fantastic, Guy. So what, we're allowed to call in and plug our other platforms now? I didn't know that.
Well, was that a plug? Haven't you plugged yours? We plugged your podcast.
I ain't never told nobody where to go listen to. They just know what I do.
Yes, you have. You said it to me because I've asked you, and you've typed it inside of the Chop Shop because I've read it.
That is a M-effing lie. That's not happened before. But I digress. I don't care because I have a niche audience anyway. I don't really particularly care about that. I was just thought that was bizarre. Can you hear me? Dude revving up his chopper behind me. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. It's a little choppy, but I can't hear you. I'm not sure if it's the chopper behind you or if it's just your connection. But I do hear you, though.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I want to. All right. Now that Amber Guyger's been convicted, I thought Danietta Bailey posted a very important question yesterday in her group. Was the conviction a symbol of the evolution of the thinking of Americans, or was it just common sense? And I'm of the opinion it was just simple common sense. Like, because like my partner, my man said that, had both of John been shot anywhere but his living room, Guyger's walking. She does this at a grocery store, off duty, but they just like, he might have just bumped his card into her, and she clipped him. She doesn't.
I tell you what, Fame. I don't mean to cut off your flow, man, but is it possible for you to call me right back? Let's see if we can reset your call because it's very choppy. I want to make sure people hear what you have to say.
Bad,
it's all good.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, just call me right back. I just want to make sure people hear what you have to say. That's it. 513-873-7134. Now, he called me an MF and lie, and everybody knowing here what I just said was the truth to that man. I've asked him about it. But he, people forget. People forget kindness. You say something fly to somebody, they'll remember that shit to the day they die. Kindness, they don't remember that shit. That's how we are as humans. Oh, boy. Yeah, but I don't know if it was just me. He just seemed choppy. Now, I could hear him, but I was just concerned for your listening pleasure because I can always hear it, I think, a little bit better than you can for a lot of obvious reasons. But hopefully he'll give us a call back and we can take his phone call. Until then, let's move forward. Good morning. Got a call on the line, but good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. This is Karamia. How you doing, Nate?
Hey, Karamia. Good morning.
I just wanted to call in to remind people to exonerate Judge Tracy Hunter. We are doing a rally, a protest in front of UDF on Woodford and Ridge, and that will be Thursday between 6. We're asking everybody to come out at 6 o'clock. Bring your bullhorn so we can be heard about the rally. Also, she's having a fundraiser October the 12th at 2 p.m. at New Prospect Church, and donations are $10 for the ticket. And that's 5080 Summit Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45237. Hello?
Okay, Karamia. All right. Thank you for that. So that's this Thursday.
Come.
Yeah, tell me one more time. So it's this Thursday at the UDF at Ridge and
Woodford.
Okay. What time?
At 6 o'clock. We're
6
asking
p.m.
people to show up.
Okay, 6 p.m. Okay, I got it. I want to make sure everybody got it.
All right, and I'll put it on about the fundraiser. I'll chime that in with the chat, okay?
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Nate.
Yeah, most def.
You're welcome.
Most def.
Bye.
Appreciate it. That's Karamia checking in. Karma for the y'all still buying that she mistakes his apartment for hers? Well, until we get more evidence, I am buying that, Magnanimous King. I think that until we get more information, like if we get some information that comes out that says that they have some kind of relationship or it was some kind of neighbor's dispute or something like that, I mean, he is right above her. So maybe he was making noise or something. And so, until something like that comes out, my theory that I'm working with, now I'm not right or wrong, I'm just formulating a layman's opinion like everybody else watching the case. But my opinion is it was a mistake. She thought it was her apartment. And then she decided to execute him with the arrogance of a police officer. Like, oh, you dared to make a mistake and come in my house? Oh, I'm going to kill you. You got to die. And you know people talk like that. I wish you would. People talk like that, especially if people with a little authority, like a police officer. So that's what I think. I think that Botham John was dead the moment that she thought that it was her apartment and she walked in there. Unfortunately, with her mindset, she had the wrong mindset and a weapon. And I think it was over at that point. The guy's in there eating ice cream. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, is this any better?
100%.
Okay, good. Now, like I was saying, if she kills him anywhere else other than his own other than his own apartment and his living room, she's walking. And that's why I feel that this was a common sense verdict. I mean, it was a layup. I mean, like you were just saying, she said, people with authority, I wish somebody would. I mean, wasn't that in one of those texts that was revealed about her? I'm dressed in black already because I'm preparing for your funeral or something like that.
Correct.
That's in one of those text messages.
That is, but I didn't understand the context of it. But I do remember that, or something close to it.
Yeah. So I don't see this as being anything close to evolution or an evolved mind, because, and let's keep it a buck, white people generally enjoy Caribbeans and Africans more than they do African Americans, because those people are generally more humble than us. So Balsam John, he's probably an unassuming. He was in church. He's an unassuming Caribbean cat, and with a good job. He was a citizen. I mean, this kid was a citizen, a good citizen. No random kids. Good paying job, college educated, something that non-blacks will relate to on a jury. So they kind of felt for him, like, this, that could be me sitting in my own house and the cops come in thinking it's theirs and bust me up. That could have been me. They relate to him, on that level. Had that been, a cat with a, minor criminal record or even a serious one, they're not relating to him. And so she probably walks. So I just want to, bring that she had that about her group. That's what I'm feeling about that. That it was a very common sense verdict. They had no choice. And if you ask me, the judge has no choice but to give her at least a dub. Give her at least 20 to life, whatever it is. But she's got to give her at least 20, because this is, I mean, like you said, this was murder. I don't really believe that she even made a mistake, that she was in the wrong house. I mean, we smelled, our houses smell different. Everybody's house has a distinct smell. Whether it was the last thing you cooked, or, you ever been in some, dirty people's house. Their house smells like the same meal all the time. Everybody has a distinct smell in their house, perfume, cologne. She knew she was in the wrong spot. That was intentional. She hunted him down. Just probably just,
why do you think she hunted him down?
Just done with it.
Based upon some neighbors dispute
I'm hearing reports
or
that I'm hearing the reports about that. I don't know how true they are, but I'm hearing about that. They had neighbors dispute. She made several noise complaints about him, things like that, because she lived under him, or did she live on top? She lived under him, right?
Correct.
Her apartment was directly under him, so he's probably up above her, I mean, young, handsome, muscular cat with a good job. He's probably clapping cheeks nightly. And she's probably tired of it. So she's, making complaints about the boy, about the young man. So that was we haven't come far at all. That was just common sense to convict him or convict her.
Right. I agree with that.
As far as I'm concerned.
We would need more evidence. We would need more situations like this to call it evolution, in my opinion.
Right. This was an isolated, because it was him. Like I said, a Caribbean. People like that. They're comical. The white people find them comical. Their accents, their funny accents and whatnot. That jury related to him. And that's what they always talk about when they pick a jury. Who can the jury relate to more, the victim or the defendant or the plaintiff or whatever?
Well, here's a thought that comes to mind. It's like a black man has to be a perfect victim to get justice. Because what you're describing to me is he was a perfect victim, right? Clean record. Exactly. You're exactly right. If there's any gray area, the black man, especially the African American black man, you're going to get an adverse judgment. Whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant or the victim, the judgment's going to go against you. If there's any gray area with you. And that's sad at this point in 2019. So that's why I'm saying it's not evolution. And she wasn't saying that. But that one, I thought the dude came in very
condescending about it, Fanon Rucker, with a little bit of attitude. But she claims she know him, they cool, but I guess it was an inside joke between them, but I wasn't feeling it.
I know she
like,
posted
dude,
that, but I didn't see, and I know Fanon posted that, but I didn't read exactly what he said.
He just said, like I said, it must have been an inside joke between them, because when I said something to him about it, she was, hold on, I know him, we good, blah, 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 blah. That's my man's and them. I'm like, okay, my bad.
She was like, stand down. He's about to flame him up.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah, you know how it go. You know what I do. If I feel like I'm being attacked. And as far as you had mentioned, hey, what is this about the Bengals about to leave in 2027?
Lisa,
am I reading this right?
Well, the lease is going to be up soon. And so there's some speculation that the Bengals could be in a position where they might leave and go to a bigger market.
Here's the issue with that. Under the current leadership of the Bengals, the ownership family, the ownership group, no other city will take them because you've proven not to be winners. So no other city's really going to be like really quick to take them like that. And they're so ingrained in Ohio, I don't think they would even come close to moving. So unless they would sell the team for probably an offer they can't refuse, every NFL team's valued at over $1 billion. So somebody probably threw 5 at them, like the Cowboys, dude said he wouldn't sell for less than 10.
10
Jerry
billion?
Jones or
10 billion?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. That star sells itself though. You see what I'm saying? And plus he built the stadium, AT&T Stadium. He built that stadium with his money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So right. Jera, he's pretty much, he said he wouldn't sell it for less than 10. I'm figuring the Bengals are worth half as much as the Cowboys. So therefore, somebody threw $5 billion at the Brown family, they might take it, but I just don't see another city allowing them to come in and getting any. I don't see them moving to another city, like I said. And if they sold the team, they probably would put it in the provision like you can't move unless you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so ingrained. They're from Cleveland. They started the Cleveland Browns,
right?
Or the dad was the coach of the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I ain't buying all that.
I ain't buying it either because what do we see with Cleveland? Well, when Cleveland left and went to Baltimore, Cleveland was such a historically good fan base that they eventually got another team. If that happened in Cincinnati, I think the Cincinnati fans have proven that they're a loyal NFL fan base and they'll get another team. But, I hadn't thought about it. You're right. The reputation of the Brown family will precede them. And if they go to another city, will they be able to convince another city that, number one, you're a winner, and number two, you're enough of a winner that we should invest with you in terms of giving you a deal similar to what they got here with us? Because I don't think another city would give them the kind of deal that Hamilton County gave the Bengals.
Right, exactly. So I don't see that happen. That's just more threats, just like they did back in, 97 when the thing first came about?
Yeah.
The new stadium talk. So I ain't sweating that. That's just more threatening and whatnot. So, but there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I forgot because you made me hang up and call back. That's all good though. Oh, did I ever tell you that joke about the lady who got wooden breast implants?
No.
Yeah, she got some wooden breast implants and one of them fell out.
Okay.
Oh, damn, I messed up. I'm sorry. I guess the joke would be funny if I told you the punchline.
Yeah, it might help. That might help.
Wouldn't it? Oh!
Oh, my gosh. This guy. Rack 'em. So let's get back to Amber Guyger, though. That's an interesting question about the Bengals. I hadn't thought about that, the reputation of the Browns. I just said something that I don't really have any qualifiers or information to back it up. That's just my opinion. And I guess it's based upon what happened back in 97 when the Bengals were going back and forth and threatening to leave. And Hamilton County was all afraid because who are we without the Bengals? There was an opportunity for them to go to Baltimore. But Baltimore's deal was nowhere near as sweet to the Brown family that as the deal they got from Hamilton County. It was nowhere near. How do I remember? CDB Magazine did an analysis shortly after the conclusion saying, look, here's what was happening behind closed doors. The Bengals or the Brown family went to Baltimore, and Baltimore said, we ain't giving you all of that. And the details of what they were giving you was kind of lost in antiquity in that City Beat article, but it was nowhere near as sweet. The Bengals didn't get as much. The taxpayers in Baltimore were not going to have to give as much as the taxpayers here in Cincinnati, Hamilton County. So, the question is this, and I'll leave this open to people who have more insight. Is the Bengals, or are the Bengals, even if they're a losing franchise, an asset to the residents of Hamilton County? And if so, tell me how. Tell me how I benefit from the Bengals having a great sweetheart deal and the fact that the Bengals here. I'm sure that somebody can craft that argument, but I've never heard it. Tell me how. Tell me how the Bengals being here as a losing franchise, because that's what they are. Perennial losers, 0-4, worst team in the NFL, one of them. How does that benefit me in Hamilton County? Because people will say, oh, there's an economic benefit and we're the NFL team and we're 1 of 31. That's special. Okay, it sounds like it is. But can you articulate to me how that trickles down to my kitchen table and me and my family? I don't see it. We got what? 40,000 affordable housing units. We got an affordable housing crisis. We have too many, 1 in 3 kids living in poverty. The vast majority of them are black and brown. How is the Bengals doing anything? And like I say, what is Zach Taylor doing philanthropically? Because to me, Marvin Lewis set a standard in terms of his philanthropy in Cincinnati. I told you that was one of the reasons why I like Marvin Lewis. What is this young new coach doing outside of football that means that we should give a damn about what he's doing and being a coach? So what? He's the coach. I'll say it again. And what does that mean? Nothing. It's not affecting my credit rating. It's not. What kind of opportunities is it providing? Some concession jobs? Some concession jobs? Okay, I'm sure somebody's taking care of their family. I would never look down on that. Do what you do. Glad you got it, but come on now. Come on now. We're not talking about union protected jobs where a person can live off of and take care of their family. I bet you most of them people working them concessions are either retired and or juggling multiple jobs. Talk to me about no damn jobs. I hate it when people say, oh, jobs are all the same. Jobs are not always the same. They're not all. There's a big difference between having a job with union protection and not having a job with union protection. There's a big difference between having a job with a health plan that doesn't take 50% of your take-home pay to pay for it so you can take care of you and your family. There's a big-ass difference. Every job's the same, sometimes people seem to imply, but enough of that. The door is open if you want to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. Let me get back to Amber Guyger. So she wrote jokes about Martin Luther King, about the Martin Luther King Jr. parade. And then she also made a joke about saying that she wanted a racist dog. So I'm looking at the correspondence right now between her and Blevins. And when she says, I think she's at the parade and she writes, or somebody writes, when does this end, LOL? And she responded, when MLK is dead, oh wait. So it's sort of like a double entendre. I guess he was trying to say when the parade dies down or is, air quotes, dead, meaning that the parade is over. And also she's making a joke about Martin Luther King being dead. Then she writes, oh wait. Blevins writes, ha. So you got two officers making jokes about the death of Martin Luther King Jr. Is that benign? Is that innocuous? Is that innocent? Is that like a small thing that doesn't really matter? Because everybody tells racist jokes, right? Everybody don't tell no racist motherfucking jokes. That's a lie. Or is it? You tell me. 513-873-7134. All of this is coming out during the sentencing phase. I hope that the judge takes this into consideration. Botham John was eating ice cream. I need you, she said. Not, he needs you. I need you. I need to cover up quick. These text messages might do her in, and I hope that they do. And then I thought it was quite interesting here. At some point, she's going back and forth with this officer about doing this parade detail. And somebody texts, just push them or spray your pepper spray in that general area. Oh, that's a police tactic. I remember being a young dude in my 20s looking for ladies, right? During the Jodeci era with my black Jodeci boots on, up on Short Vine. I remember it happened twice. Then I started fucking with Short Vine. You ever been in the crowd and somebody just spray pepper spray? I have. You know what happens? Instant reaction, coughing, eyes irritating. Automatically, the mucous membranes start to react to it. And man, that pepper spray can kill people. You can have a reaction to it. Everybody got asthma these days. Nobody's in freaking shape. Spray you with some pepper spray, that get in your mouth, on your nose, your nostrils. You are done. You are done. You are so done. You are so done with just a little bit of pepper spray. That's why I say all people should carry pepper spray. My wife carries pepper spray. She'll spray the shit out of you. She'll burn your eyeballs out your eyes. She will. Let's see. So my daughter too. Burn your balls straight out of your skull. That's what she's been instructed to do if somebody messes with her. Like that scene from what was that show? The Boys at the very end. When Verlander at the very end. Yeah, just like that. Straight through your skull. And let me see what else is here. I hate everything and everyone but y'all. What does that mean? The blue? In another text string between Amber Guyger and one of her little buddies, there was a discussion about a dog. The officer stated that the dog may be racist. Now stop right there. The dog may be racist. Problems. Her former partner with whom she was having a relationship wrote in another text thread, damn, I was at this area with 5 different black officers. Not racist, but damn. Guyger responded, not racist, but just have a different way of working, and it shows. That's the reason why you got to have a Sentinels organization to protect the interests of black officers. That kind of mentality right there. That's the reason why there is a Sentinels. And I'm sure that if you go across the nation, you got similarly, you have similar organizations that have been formed to protect the interest of black and brown people while they're wearing uniforms. Because just because you got a uniform on, don't mean you ain't racist. It don't mean you looking at people different. What do you mean you just do things differently? We know that's true. Look at the world. What are you talking about? 9:30 can't get here quick enough. On Pinterest, she shared things like stay low, go fast, kill first, die last, one shot, one kill, no luck, all skill. Yeah. Now, this is harmless. This is nothing unless you've killed an innocent person. And then everything you ever said and everything you ever did, everything you ever post on Facebook, they're going to put it out there. That's why I keep telling people, don't put all that dumb ish on social media. Just because you can't see it no more does not mean that Facebook can't get a letter from local law enforcement saying, look, we want to get everything this person ever posted between this time frame and that time frame. If they do that, they're going to get it. All your little business is going to be out there. Get ready for it. Everything you ever posted is still there. Just because you can't see it, just because you've moved on, it's there. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Another Pinterest post is, I wear all black to remind you not to mess with me because I'm already dressed for your funeral. I'm telling you, Amber Guyger made a mistake. She thought she was in her house. And when that happened, this black man, what the hell? Are you eating ice cream? Oh, you dead. That's what happened. in my humble opinion. I could be completely wrong about it. I don't know. What's your take? Love to hear your take on it. Here's another one that she posted. People are so ungrateful. And then she got one of these little racist minion characters. Everybody knows that the minions are a racist caricature. No one ever thanks you for having the patience not to kill them. This is what you posted online as an officer? People are so ungrateful. Now think about that mindset for somebody to post that in public. And you're a member of law enforcement. People are so ungrateful. No one ever thanks me for having the patience not to kill them. This is your mindset? Now we understand why she killed both them John. How dare you break into my house? Oh, no. We don't need no jury for this. Ain't no arrest for this. You're dead. And then that'll teach the streets to mess with officers. That's what her mentality was. That's what her mentality was. Oh, how dare you? I'm looking at a picture right now. Oh, this is just heartbreaking, man. You know, this family has lost their loved one. They lost somebody. Could you imagine losing your brother over something like this, or your sister, or your mama, or your auntie, or one of the choppers over something like this? Man, this would be crazy. She got to go to jail. I'm with Fame on that. At least a dub. 20 years. At least a dub. She got it. She got it. She got to go. She got to go. All right, to the phone. Speaking of got to go, I got to go to the phones and welcome in John from Princeton, New Jersey. How you doing, John?
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivy and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. How are you, sir?
Feeling great.
Well, I enjoyed your flows yesterday and was enjoying it. Have been enjoying it this morning. Before we get to this Oscar-winning award-winning police officer and for her bogus Oscar on the stand, you know, I know you probably are tired of talking about the case. You talked about it a little bit yesterday. The young lady with the dreadlock, cutting out the dreadlocks. And now we find out a week and a half later, she made up the story. You know, I was outraged when I heard that story. I must admit, you know, I was behind a lot of people that bought into not knowing it was a lie at that time. I was outraged and said anybody involved in this should be held accountable. Then we find out the grandmother wrote a statement and indicated it was all a lie. Well, I think, like any child at that age, I don't know what's in her head. I don't know what was in her heart and why she came up with this story, and nobody knows. And you probably will never get to the truth. But she's got to be taken out of that school, because if she thinks she made a story and she's not going to be tormented, she's going to be tormented now. You got to change her identity, take her out of school, move her into a different school system, and she needs therapy and counseling as to why she did what she did. We can speculate and go around in circles, but a child of that age, you know, who knows? Anything could have been in her mind. Who knows? Maybe she was being tortured and she decided she wanted to make the story up. You know, I'm not going to speculate and blame, but I'm hearing reports, and I don't know if you have chased this down. The white community wants to now protest in front of the school. They're outraged. They want to protect these boys. And rightfully so. It's good for the goose. It's good for the gander. But it's not going to help the situation. And I'm not going to excuse the 1,000,001 things that have happened to us as a people since we came into this shore. I can excuse this girl, you know, for one incident, but it's not going to excuse the brutality that African Americans have gone through in this country. So those haysays, all those white supremacists can march and have their protests. Let them have their day, you know. But when it all comes down to it, it's not going to excuse what they have done to us. We'll leave that as it is and leave it for now and see what happens. But I think, personally, you have to protect this young lady. Counseling is one thing. Moving her out of the school, because leaving her in there is not going to help the situation. It's going to make it even worse. And you probably have to change her identity. It's something she's got to live with for the rest of her life. We'll leave it like that. All right, let's get to the Amber situation. All right, as I sit back and listen to your flows, today and several other stations across the country, and people are somewhat outraged. Maybe you can probably tell me on the sentencing term. And I did find out from the lawyer, for I listened to one station in Atlanta, and the lawyer was being interviewed that handled the case. And he said it's up to a jury, that jury that's selected, to decide. It's kind of puzzling to me. I thought the judge would make that decision. But as I listened to that lawyer, he indicated it's the jury's decision. So now this jury has to come back whenever the sentencing stage is, and who knows how long it will be in the back room making a decision how much time she's going to get. When I heard the lawyers indicate she can get somewhere from 5 to life. 5 to life. In other words, this jury, which is made up, and I listened to this lawyer indicate, it's a cross reference of the community within this jury. So it's black, white, across the back, half and half. And he said he was happy with that. But when they go in that back room, that's a different story. 5 to life. I'm sure, as you indicated, they're looking at the text. They're looking at her makeup, the weeping and crying. No excuse. No. She took a life. She took a life. And you're not going to sit up here and tell me, I thought it was in my apartment. Excuse me. The jury has to look at all of this stuff. And I can see her getting somewhere from maybe 25 to 50. I don't think she's going to get life. Because once again, as we talked about many times, there are 2 sets of laws in this country, one for them and one for us. And this is a police officer. And as much as the high fives, look at the tape, choppers, after she committed the crime, all her police buddies come ramping around, hugs, kisses, high fives. Now we know it's a lie. That's why the police chief fired her, because her story was conflicting. She jumped back and forth with her story. He knew this was going no place, so he felt, get rid of her now, because the outcome is not going to look good. Your comments, sir?
No comments. You said 25 to 50 is what you believe, huh?
I think she probably, knowing the police officer, and I don't like these sets of rules, she's an American like anybody else. I don't give a damn. And I know some police officers are listening to the Nathan Ivy Show. I don't give a damn. You commit a crime, you commit a crime. I personally believe when you put on that uniform, you pull that gun, you better have a reason for pulling that gun. But the problem is, over the years, I think I mentioned this to you, too, a couple of years back. The Supreme Court wrote an article about 8 to 10 years ago, and it was in the back of the papers, in the back, hidden in a block, and it stated statements from the Supreme Court. And that statement didn't come from John from Princeton, Choppers, or Pamela. It came from the Supreme Court stating, we give the police the upper hands on all of these cases. When I read that, I'm like, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that police can be judge, jury, and executioner. So when Trump came in, Trump knew about that. So the echo was loud and clear when that statement blew across the newspapers to the police force across the country. Go ahead and gun them down. We're not going to do anything. And if they take it to trial, they'll wait a year, it'll be over. You guys will walk right out of jail. And that's what they've been doing. So this sentencing have to leave a clear message to the police across the country. You pull that gun, you fire, we will watch you, and if we hold you accountable, you'll be locked up too. And don't let them go into a country club. Those federal penitentiaries where they isolate the so-called mobster politicians. They don't go into a regular prison system. No, they put them into those country clubs. We have to protect these white boys, white girls, because if the public prison guys get to them,
Is it still like
can
that?
happen.
Is it still like that in federal prisons? I thought that was a thing in the 80s and 90s.
It's a country club. They can do whatever they want to do in there.
Is that
they
right?
Split these politicians up, and they're very careful where they send these people. They can state where they like to go, but that doesn't mean they're going to go there. So they send them wherever they want to go. So we shall see where all of this merges out. And the system is as it is. You can't do nothing about it. So we'll let it play out. Any comments, sir?
Yeah, that's it, John. Thanks for the call, man.
Well, I'm going to end with this. Have a nice day. Let's see how the flows go. And Pamela, you can get out of the shower now. Have a nice day.
You're wrong for that. He said, Pamela, you can get out of the shower now. That's an inside joke to a conversation that happened. Was it yesterday, the day before? John, you wrong for that, man. Somebody, you can get out of the shower now. I'm sure she just loves hearing that from you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man. You might want to take a shower now. What in the hell? CG Dub is vomiting. She just sent it. I didn't know they had a vomit emoji. Is that a vomit emoji? What? TNT writes, hey, good to see you, TNT. She writes, sending my open letter for Judge Hunter to the media today. I hope they publish it. 73 days as a political prisoner. Open letter to Honorable Judge Hunter. Hope they do post it. That'd be great. Let me know. Fame writes, Mike Morawski, don't vote for him. School board needs yeomen, not politicians. Ray writes, Nathan appeases John, then can't take it, and most times quickly gets him off. That's not what it is. I love John. I defend John from y'all. Cam writes, Nathan, spare us from this. John likes to hear himself talk. Let's go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection. How are you doing, sir?
I'm sounding great, man. I thought it was the opening of Mission Impossible. Good morning, Mr. Ivy. Your mission is such and such if you choose to accept it. You had that Mission Impossible voice going on, man.
Because, Mr. Ivy, I have some new equipment. I have a headset microphone.
Oh,
so,
what that is. Okay.
Yeah, my voice sounds nice, creamy, and smooth, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure it does. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Ivy, this is my moment of gloating as far as politics go. Now,
I hate this
your
headset
show
already.
has been on.
How much you pay for this headset?
Mr. Ivy, I paid $39 on Amazon.
I hate the way it sounds. It's not smooth, but
I know, Mr. Ivy. I tested it yesterday on one of my walking while retired videos, and I tried to sound like a commercial. But I'm working on things, Mr. Ivy.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Yeah, I'm walking while retired. So, Mr. Ivy, back to my moment of gloating. Did you hear the latest fundraising numbers for the third quarter?
I'm aware that I'm aware that Trump raised $125 million plus and broke a record for the third quarter. Third quarter campaign finance raising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of that. Yep.
Right. Okay. And so I would assume that you're aware he broke Barack Obama's record.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not assuming of you being
you had to throw that in there, huh?
and biased. But Mr. Ivy, okay.
So what does that mean
Ivy,
exactly?
That means when that news broke, okay, that obviously is going on in the same environment of Impeach 45. So yesterday, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, he basically stood up to all the committee members who are doing this fake impeachment inquiry. So then the fundraising numbers come out, and this record-breaking amount of money, because everybody in Washington, in the mainstream media, they know that your fundraising numbers show the interest of your voters or your supporters. Okay, so all I'm saying, Mr. Ivy, things are not going very well just over a week and a half from when Nancy Pelosi had that big announcement.
I don't think it's fair I don't know if it's fair to draw that. In fact, I don't believe it's fair to draw that conclusion based upon the fact that Trump raised a record amount of money during the third quarter. Because, there's some questions that need to be asked about the 125 million plus. Like, are these small donations? Are these PACs? Are these corporate donors? Who are these donors? I mean, I think that says more. Like, if it's a bunch of corporate donors that stand to have to gain by having him in the White House, that's different if it's small amounts from real people, more of a grassroots effort, right? I mean, it tells two different stories to me.
Yes, that is a fair question to ask. But in this environment, Nate, of this party, this president under constant, Nate, since the day after he was inaugurated, that is one thing that they look at in their internal analysis. Because if you remember last week when the media came out with these polls on the American people and impeachment, did you notice, Nate, they did not mention Trump's approval rating in those same polls? They chose to focus on the impeachment question. So all I'm saying, Nate, and the fact that the Democrats are on vacation, Nate, I'm just saying, just in a week and a half, things are starting to change as far as the narrative. Okay? So I'm just asking you, because my gloating only works if you agree with me. So I'm just playing, Mr. Ivy. I don't want you to lose any more followers that you already do when I come on the air. So I just wanted to point that out because I will be waiting with bated breath to hear from the Chop Shop overseer, Mr. Mason Mahler, on the status of this fake impeachment inquiry. Because, Nate, I'm telling you, Donald Trump is not the one, Nate. He is not that typical Goldwater Republican that Mr. Mahler always refers to. Donald Trump has changed the game. But all I'm telling you, Nate, is that things are not going as planned for the desperate Democrats. That's all I'm saying. Set aside their issues with the black vote. Set aside the issues they got with Kamala Harris. Set aside the issues they had with Joe Biden and Ukraine. All I'm saying, Nate, this whole impeachment thing, I know it's still developing, but just after only a week and a half, and then these fundraising numbers come out, Nate, I'm just going to be sitting back with my popcorn waiting to see how the desperate Democrats are going to respond. But hopefully I could get a little taste this morning on the Nathan Ivy Show, powered by Sin Digital Media, the new voice of Cincinnati. How you like that, Mr. Ivy?
I'll take it.
Drop Squad 52. Walking while retired. Check your 401k. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and rack them. I'll say it again. I mean, I was aware of Trump. I didn't bring it up. Part of it was because I was still searching for some answers to the questions that I shared with you. He raised $125 million in the third quarter, as I understand it, $125 million plus, some big new record. That's great. But who gave him the money, though? Is this grassroots, small donations from real people? Or these political action committees that represent big business interests? I mean, is it $125 million from the business community? Is it the military industrial complex? Is it the prison industrial complex? I mean, who gave you this $125 million? That's the other side of the story. So the number looks good, but I like to know just a bit more about where he's getting it from, because that tells a story. If it's all, big business interest, military industrial complex interest, well, that just means they want to maintain the status quo, right? If it's small donations from, just hardworking people, that tells another story. So I'm still searching for that info. I ain't sure. I'm not really sure. Let's go to the phones here. Let's talk to Glenn from Mason. Good morning, Glenn.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
I'm like Keith Murray, man. I'm like Keith Murray. They call my name and I come running. I could not believe drop. Once again, folks, Nate, normally I preserve this flow fade for Fridays on Flow Fade Fridays, but you're going to get a midweek one today, Nate. And as usual, they still can't stop my fadeaway, and I've added a crossover to it today. So it's really unstoppable. Nate, of course, I've caught Drop lying again. Drop failed to mention, Nate, that actually the president has his lowest approval rating ever. It's at 37%. He also failed to mention, Nate, that the public is turning the tide for impeachment. As a matter of fact, Drop, impeachment, those pro-impeachment people, that has gone up 10%, 10 points. And Nate, you've seen these polls. You've seen where now there's almost split, if not more people saying that they should go ahead and start articles of impeachment. But Drop, once again, he's still using those 2016 talking points, talking about the lamestream media. I don't even think Republicans talk about the lamestream media anymore. It's like a white guy saying, black people walk around calling me whitey. Black people don't call white people whitey. They're still not using lamestream media flows. Nate, what we're going to see today, I don't know if people pay attention. I know I do. I know I'm a bit of a nerd. But apparently the Inspector General asked for all 8 committees, Republicans and Democrats, to meet this morning because he has something that is part of this whole whistleblower investigation. If you see what's happening, Nate, everybody is turning into Tekashi. They telling on everybody. Trump told on Mike Pence. Giuliani told on the State Department. So guess what? Now they want to interview these people in the State Department. Now the people that Mike Pompeo is trying to keep from testifying are career State Department people, Nate. They're really just there to do their job. They getting up and going to work just like people in the chop shop. And before Trump came in, they weren't asked to do illegal things. They weren't asked to do things that might compromise their career, but it might also compromise their freedom, Nate. And that's where we are now. And guess what else is going to happen? Now they're going to ask for the transcripts from all those other secret conversations that, Nate, I talked about Monday about that level 4 level of security. Remember, and I brought that up, and now that's the big news. Everybody's figuring out, he's keeping his own little vault of secrets out there, and he complained about Hillary and his emails. I mean, I should go back to a Trump campaign and say, Russia, if you're listening, can you please divulge Donald Trump's secret transcripts? Because we need to see these things. So that's where we are, Nate, and this is only going to get worse. Like I stated before, this is not like the Mueller report, Nate. These things are every single day we're getting new information. Every single day, career State Department people, career intelligence people, they're saying that we saw shady stuff happening. It's not 9:30 yet. Well, is it? We saw shady shit happening a long time ago. And when and what happens, Nate, when you constantly just hammer on the intelligence community, what are they going to do, Nate? They're going to investigate the PP tapes. I guarantee you the PP tapes going to come out before the end of the year. And let me end with this, Nate. I thought about this last night. And the triangulation between Drop and Fame and Omar DeBarge, you got the East Coast, you got the Midwest with Fame, and you got Drop out there on the West Coast. Now, we know Drop is on some old, Boogie Nights West Coast stuff while he's throwing parties in some red Chuck Taylors, a 2020 mega shirt cut in half like a halter top, and a loincloth with Donald Trump's face on it with the hair, throwing parties out there. We know Fame over in the Midwest. He kind of took over when Ghost went to jail. Now he's become the leader. And like I said, you got Omar DeBerry up in New York looking like he's still trying to do an investigative report about the Zulu Nation and what happened to him. So I'm hip to all this, guys. They come together like a triangle of Gilligans. And I'm there to just call them out and keep the people straight, Nate. I got to get back to work. But you know what I do, man. In the end, I hope they getting what I'm spitting. You holler, brother.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and rack them. Appreciate the call. Damn. Appreciate the flows. He said a halter top hiked up. What did he say? Oh, man. ABs are in order. Get the ABs going.
You ready to shake up the world, radio man?
There's a black man stealing my show!
Yeah, he gets the whole bag. He gets the whole bag with that call. Oh, man, I'll take it. He said, I'm going to give you some midweek work, huh? I like it. And he was able to call out the Aya toilets, too. I'm all good with it. I'm good with it. That was hilarious. Fame writes, it took him 3 weeks to come up with that gay-ish. Is that right? Fame writes, this gay N-word thinking about me at night. Is that right? Mike Jones writes, Slick is going down. He's making deals with foreign governments to go at his political opponents, and he admitted to it. Drop, what are the talking points to combat this? We just knew that Trump was going to shoot himself in the foot because he is a Gilligan. That's what Gilligans do. Stay away from him. You don't want no Gilligans in your camp. Life is hard enough. You have to deal with somebody else's Gilligan moves. We knew Trump was going to say or do something that was ultimately going to go and cook his own goose. We knew that. This could be it. Again, I am not convinced until, I don't know, I think it will take a lot more political, because listen, you're going to have to move about 20, 24 Republicans in the Senate if this is really going to happen. Everything else up to that is just an exercise in political theater. If at the end of the day you don't get him, he's not impeached, what difference does it make? But it'll be an election day next year. That kind of thing has never happened before. We are headed into uncharted territory, if I can get it out. TNT writes, midweek fade with the crossover. Right. That was good. Give him props, man. It was a great flow. He said midweek fade with the crossover. I'm waiting for him to add that James Harden double step back three-pointer. Or maybe that step to the left, one-handed faded three-pointer that James Harden is working on right now. That's hilarious. Hilarious. I know that's right, Mason. Russia, if you're listening, where is Trump's Rudy Giuliani and Mike Pompeo's transcripts? Mike Pompeo, I believe, is a CIA director. He's caught up in this as well. I saw Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani sounds like a damn fool. This guy, at one point, you were America's mayor after 9/11, and now you're Trump's Mitch. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Being that close to power means that much. I get it. You want to be down with the press. I understand that. It's human nature, but you're going to mitch yourself out to do it in front of everybody? Hell no. What is Trump promising you? Is it just because y'all get to be cool? Man, I guess every man is built differently. Mike Jones writes, Slick is going down. Brian writes, Klan, NRA, racist, all donors right. Fame writes, every time you come out, Drop, I'm getting on top of you. Oh, he's saying that's the guy on the phone. Clue Magic writes, CG Dub, Dan Hills probably thinks a miscarriage of justice has occurred in the Amber Guyger case. It would be interesting to know what he thinks. Why? That would be a good question for Dan Hills, actually, because that would give us some insight into just how much full of shit he really is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, Dan Hills is the FOP president, and he loves him some Nathan Ivey. He loves the Nathan Ivey show. But that'd be a fair question, because if we asked Dan Hills a question about Amber Guyger, we would get his thoughts on it. Now, we know what the right answer is. The right answer is she was wrong and her ass should go to jail. But would he be yabba dabba doing it because he's the FOP president and he's got to serve the interest of the police and go with them no matter what? Quite honestly, this is a great question for any member of law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? This is a great question for any member of law enforcement. Really, anybody, period. What's your thoughts on Amber Guyger? Real quick. Now, some people will say, oh, why are you asking them that? Well, that's just me. That's my style. That will come up. You will hear that. And I'll circle back around because, I talked to Dan Hills right after, or it was during that whole time when he was going after Iris. Remember, in the community stood up for her and said, no, Nigwa, it ain't going down like that. And I was conversing with him via Facebook direct message, and he was willing to come back on the show. So let me circle back around and see what he thinks. Maybe we can get him on the show and give us that thoughts. What difference does it make? Well, it'll give us some insight into what he thinks and therefore what his influence is and what he's saying to other people. me think about that. I think I like it. Clumazic writes, his donors, speaking of Trump, are mostly, if not all, millionaires, Drop. Of course he was able to raise that amount of money. Joe Common White Guy wasn't there to contribute to the Cheetos fundraiser, but he will be just as dumb and vote for the Cheeto anyway. Jackie Jones writes, this is for the Trump supporters. Those are some funny emojis right there. Some vomiting emojis. Yeah, you know, the Republicans are running around trying to make it a big deal because he got money. Well, who's surprised that Trump's able to raise $125 million? Nobody. Did you see the tax windfall that he gave wealthy people? You better you damn right he gonna have some people gonna support him. Trump's gonna have hella supporters because they want to keep the Trump status quo. Business over everything else, right? The interests of the wealthy over everybody else. They want to create a third tier where everybody else's kids, not their kids, will live and be locked into to be permanent servants to the elites. Well, permanent de facto servants of the interests of the elites. That's just my humble opinion. You might disagree. That's how I look at it. So sure, Trump's going to raise more money than that. There's a lot of people that make money because Trump's in office. There's a lot of people that love the fact that Trump's in office. I mean, like I said, you go back to that tax cut. Man, these companies making big money with Trump. Saving money on taxes and then take that money and buy back your own stock to further enrich your position. Yeah. If you're Comcast, Verizon, this man just gave you the internet. You better damn well, yeah, he gonna get some campaign contributions. You turning over the internet? Hell yeah. How much would the internet be worth to you? How much would it be worth to you? You Comcast, you Verizon? You've been lobbying for this for years. You get this fool that comes up, he wins, he beats Hillary. He puts Ajit Pai to be the chairman of the FCC. Ajit Pai, first thing he does is attack your internet, your internet rights. He takes the internet and basically gives control of it to the telecommunication giants, your Comcast, your Verizon. Everybody's running around here talking about how MSNBC is so liberal. MSNBC is owned by parent company Comcast. How liberal can they be? And they trying to take away your internet rights, or to curtail the rights and or to give power of the internet to the big telecommunications companies. That's why I say when people be trying to say, oh, the media is liberal and it's this and that. No, it's not. No, it's not. MSNBC, they might be more liberal, but they missed a boat on a lot of so-called progressive issues. That's what gave rise to the Young Turks. That's why Young Turks was created. Because Jank got a shot over at MSNBC. They played him because he was talking off script. He said, screw you guys. I'm going to go create something that's different, that's more progressive. Boom. But yeah, people went, oh, MSNBC, that's the cradle of progressive. No, it's fucking not. It never has been. It never has been. It never was. It might be more than Fox News, but it's all relative. It's all relative. Let me see here. I want to talk about net neutrality because this week, just yesterday, neutrality, there was movement on this, and I want to give you as much updated information as possible. The courts have upheld net neutrality's repeal with some caveats. Now, the way I read this is undoubtedly a win for the Trump administration. So what does net neutrality do? Well, net neutrality does two things. It means that if you're somebody that creates an internet network, like you're creating, internet services to people, well, when those people get their internet services, you can't control what they see, what they do, or control the speed at which they connect to certain websites. I know we're going down this again. I might lose some people, but for those that give a damn, try to stay with me. Okay? Now, the agency, that's the FCC, they threw out the old net neutrality rules that were put in place by the Obama administration. I'll say it again. You got all these people, including black people, that use the internet for information. They create shit. And then when Obama's name come up and they still say, oh, Obama didn't do nothing. Oh, they didn't do nothing. Nigga, you don't the internet. What you talking about? Get your shit straight. Know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about at all. And basically those net neutrality rules prohibited Comcast, AT&T, and the other telecommunications companies that sell you internet services from basically creating winners and losers, creating super highways for the people that can afford it and other highways that are much more slower for everybody else, And that's what makes the internet so great. What makes the internet so great is that you can put something on the internet and create your own audience, and you can compete with anybody else, because when people see your content, they're going to see it at the same speed as everybody else. Previous to this, your telecommunications internet provider, your ISP, your internet service provider, they could not, mess with or curtail or block you from seeing, certain sites because they didn't like the politics of it, or it was a competitor. All these telecommunications companies, man, have diversified. They're creating content now. And that causes a little bit of a problem, because if I'm the Nathan Ivey Telecommunications ISP, I sell you internet, and then shortly thereafter I get into the content game. If I had my druthers as a pure capitalist, then I want all the people who pay for me to get internet access to only see the content that I create. Serves my own capitalist interest, but it doesn't serve the interest of the public. And that's where the Obama administration came in with the FCC, and they put up the net neutrality rules. Oh boy, AT&T didn't like that. Comcast didn't like that. Verizon didn't like that. Oh boy, didn't like that. So that was the reason why Rachel Maddow stopped talking about net neutrality in the year leading up to the Trump administration. She was so focused on other ish. She probably got the word from Comcast like, look, we've got larger issues, Rachel. We love what you do, but this is what you're going to talk about, and this is what you're not going to talk about. Oh, it happens. It happens when you're working for corporate media. It happens just like that. They'll walk in, and it's not that they tell you what not necessarily to say in general. They'll just tell you not to talk about that. It happens. Friends of the ownership group. It could be long-term strategy partnerships that you're unaware of as a personality that the overall corporate entity cares a lot about. And either you're going to do what they say, or you're not going to be on their platform. As popular as Rachel Maddow is, she is not more important than Comcast getting control of the internet. Believe me. They can find another Rachel Maddow. Everybody's replaceable in the world of entertainment. Trust me. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what your numbers are. It don't matter. Let me say this. Keeping Rachel Maddow happy or having control over the internet, which is more valuable to me? Let me think here. I know what I would choose. F Rachel Maddow. Give me control over the internet any day. And that's probably what Comcast said to her in so many words. It's probably much more nicer than that. Send her email saying, look, we really think you should focus on Mueller. Hint, hint. And she started focusing on Mueller. Or you're not going to be on MSNBC anymore. You're going to be on the internet. It's either way. That's the way it works. There's no way around it. So let me get back to this case, though, real quick, and then we'll finish this phone call. Well, I'll take that back. Let me take the phone call first, and then I'll finish up because we're near the top of the hour. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, though, Nate? What it do?
What's up?
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Nate. I'm always doing great, man. I love being me.
Cool.
Love being me.
I love that about people that love themselves, man. It's a beautiful thing. What's on your mind?
Amber Guyger. Oh, I'm glad the people didn't listen to the people you were listening to, who changed their state of mind. Woo. So glad. She's been at home right now, cooling. On that bullshit you was up. It is after 10, after 9, right? 9:30?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was straight before you had a white bitch's moment. Nate, talking about net neutrality, you're a selfish bastard, I noticed. You cool with having internet for your damn self and keep it afoot at all costs. But you ain't mentioning those Africans over there getting sucked up for that coltan that's used in your cell phone, in your laptop.
You're right. I'm not talking about that. You're right. You're right about that.
You're right, because you're white, because you're just an off-brand white bitch.
Well, hell no, man. We'll holler at you another day, man. Who the fuck is you talking to? Better get that shit together. We'll holler at you another day. You in the wrong spot, kid. We'll talk to you another day with that dumb shit. But like I told you before when you brought this up before, man, if you care so much about the impact of producing cell phones in Africa, and there is an impact, then why do you have a cell phone? We went through this before, B. I mean, I get your point. It's a valid point. But aren't you hypocritical? I mean, on one hand, you want to talk about the impact of, and some people might be aware of it, some people may not be aware of it, I am, of the overall impact on the continent of Africa in the mass production of cell phones, and then the disposal of the various components and old cell phones. So I'm hip to it. I'm hip to what's happening in the continent of Africa in terms of mining for the various precious metals that are used in our cell phones. But like I asked you, B, if you feel that way about it, then why do you have a cell phone? Aren't you? It's like saying you got a problem with blood diamonds, but you wearing blood diamonds. I keep telling you, on the Nathan Ivey Show, we don't go for the dumb shit. Open your mind before you open your mouth. All dumb shit will be challenged. And, you know, you want to call me a bitch and all this kind of stuff. You come off like a weak man. This is what you want to do in the morning? So no, sir, we're not going to have that. So call me back in a couple weeks when you get yourself together, man. We're going to put you on a little punishment. Because obviously you don't value calling in here. That's not why I get up every morning. I ain't fit that shit. You can take that somewhere else. I don't want to hear it. I think you can articulate your point talking to black people, because I'm a black man like you, right? Black man. Ain't you all about that black shit? I'm a black man too, so I don't want to get up and hear all that shit in the morning. If you cursing and it's a part of your normal parlance, yeah. But I'm not here to be abused by you and nobody else. I ain't going to have it. Period. You don't like it, don't call in. Real simple. All right, sorry for that rude distraction, but that immature 50, 60-year-old man. He's like 60 years old. Like a girl, he's like a 60-year-old child. But again, on a more serious tip to any of the marriage you were talking about, like, stop being a hypocrite. If you think that the blood diamond trade is bad, then why are you rocking blood diamonds? If you're concerned about the overall impact of, you know, cell phone technology in the continent of Africa, then why do you have a cell phone? Because you don't have to have one. Something to think about, B. I'll let you work on that. That man lost his damn mind. See? Yeah, black people try to treat you, but I ain't on it. All right, let me get back to this. Jessica Rosenworcel, who I have put in a request with her, I think it was Friday I put in a request. I've yet to hear back. She is one of 2 Democrats on the FCC. There's 5 members. She says she's going to keep up the fight. So what's the latest? Okay, so this just happened Tuesday, which is yesterday. A federal appeals court upheld yesterday the government's repeal of strict regulations for the companies that connect consumers to the internet. But the court also said that the Federal Communications Commission had overstepped by broadly stopping states and local governments from writing their own rules. So I still look at this as a win for the Decepticons, aka Agit Pie, and the people that want to give control of the internet to Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T. Okay. To their credit, Cincinnati Bell and Cincinnati, they've said no matter what happens on the federal level, they will maintain your net neutrality rights. But as a consumer, I like federal consumer protections. I like that phrase. Federal consumer protections, because I don't trust the fox to look over the hen house. I don't trust you. I'm sure they're good people at AT&T and Comcast. I'm sure they're raising their families, good people, love Jesus and all that kind of stuff, but I don't trust you with our internet. So not only did the FCC, led by the Republican-appointed chairman Ajit Pai, do away with your net neutrality rules, but they made it so that states can't even write rules for themselves. That's undemocratic. That's unrepublican. Historically, states have been for states. Republicans have been for states' rights. Back when they was arguing against slavery, it was all about state rights, state rights, state rights, state rights, the tyranny of the federal government. But when it comes to the internet, the Republican-led majority, led by Ajit Pai, appointed by Donald Trump, they said, you know what? Not only are we going to reverse the net neutrality protections, but we're going to shut the door so that states like Ohio and Indiana, Illinois and California and Texas, Florida, Kentucky, Michigan. I'm just trying to think of some of the states where I know my listeners call in and listen to on a daily basis. What they said was the states can't even write the rules for themselves. What kind of Republican is that? You're going to close the door on the FCC's role in policing the internet, and then you're going to shut the door so that states like Ohio can't determine for ourselves what we want to do. Well, that just kicked off a firestorm of several, and this ain't the end of it, lawsuits from attorney generals from particular states, not including Ohio. When Mike DeWine was attorney general, he said he ain't going to pick it up. As governor, when he was running, he said he wasn't going to really focus on net neutrality. So clearly the fix is in. And again, this just happened Tuesday. It just happened yesterday. I want to give you updates, make sure you know what's going on. That's something. The appeals court upheld the FCC's decision to no longer regulate high-speed internet delivery as if it were a utility or a common carrier like a phone service. Well, that's what the Obama administration did for you. See, people are always fronting on Obama. We got unrealistic expectations of Obama. People thought Obama was going to come in, grow out an afro, go straight black power, deliver reparations, and then start going after white people. If that's what you were looking for, you were really not that mature. That wasn't really a mature way of looking at it. So I will keep my eyes on this. This is not over. There are still several lawsuits in play, but also keep this in mind. If you're someone who like, you know what, I feel you on this, Nate. This thing, I hear what you're saying on me. I hear what you're saying to me. Well, just keep this in mind. Whoever is the sitting president determines what the majority is on the FCC. Whoever that person is. So if a Democrat is elected in 2020, then in 2021, in January 2021, within that month or so, you're going to see musical chairs. You're going to see musical chairs on there. Okay? Ajit Pai, I'm not sure what his term is, but he will no longer be the chairman, and there'll be a 3-2 majority of Democrats. Now, when that happens, the Democrat majority could simply reverse it and go back to the Obama-era policies. If that happens, you'll see lawsuits. You'll see lawsuits from the other sides. You'll see lawsuits from Republican attorney generals around the country. You'll see lawsuits from the big telecommunications companies. So that's one way of going it. But here's the other thing. Congress has the authority to enshrine this and these consumer protections in law. But I don't know if the current makeup of Congress would actually do it and get it passed. So I want to give you a heads up on everything. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. What is it? 10:07. Okay, got to make a move this morning. Really appreciate you. Let me see here. See. Karamir writes, can I smack the ish out of BL? No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. He's just a misguided, grown-ass man acting like a child on the radio, trying to abuse the privileges of calling into the Nathan Ivey Show because we don't have a call screener. And, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But there's a ways around everything. Trust me on that. See here. TNT writes, BL, we are not the enemy. Instead of trying to attack and ridicule black people, you could be starting a real movement to pour back into Africa. Ghana was given dual citizenship to all proven has given dual citizenship to all proven descendants in America, meaning we could vote in their elections and help rebuild our nation. You too busy putting your people down instead of leading us to Zion, King. Absolutely. I don't know why he thinks that makes him look good calling me names. I don't know why he feels that way. He's very childish, but it is what it is. Angela writes, Ajit Pai was an Obama alley-oop to the FCC that cannot be dismissed. You are so right about that, Angela. And I remember when to this day, I still don't understand what made Obama. See, we're talking about Ajit Pai. He was recommended to the FCC by Obama. Yeah, the guy, it's the craziest thing ever. I don't get it. You know, and this is where you want to talk about criticizing Obama, listen, there's a lot to criticize. I still don't understand why Obama put Ajit Pai on the FCC. Was he giving bad information? Was this some sleeper-ish? I don't know, but you're right about that. You're right about that. Hold on, I'm getting text messages now. Okay, cool. Listen, thank you so much for being here. For my daughter. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow, 8 a.m. I know we got started a little bit late, so I'm going to go a little bit later. I'm not leaving right now. I want to give you a full 2 hours of the show this morning. So we still have time, 513-873-7134. But, of course, I'll be with you tomorrow as well. Now, Friday is going to be a little bit different because I'm trying to catch up with Yvette Simpson. And we're scheduled to have a conversation Friday morning. So it will either be, either we'll bring her into the studio here, we'll do it by phone, or I might go on remote location on Friday morning. I will let you know tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out what will be the best way. And, of course, Yvette Simpson is doing a lot of really interesting stuff. She was just recognized as a leader in our community here by the NAACP at the Freedom Fund Dinner. I'll say it again. If you've never gone to a Freedom Fund dinner, you should go. You should definitely check it out. I had a great time. It was a great time. Love to see all those folks being recognized. A lot of people are recognized and new in the room. And then me and the wifey got a chance to go out and be grown a little bit, dress up a little bit. You know how it is. We're an old married couple with kids now, so I get a chance to go out a little bit with her. And it was great. I had a great time. Listen, thank you so much. And we'll pick it back up in tomorrow morning. Before we roll out of here, though, I want to check one thing. I want to jump inside the Friends page and see what you have been posting. That's a great way. Oh, people like my meme, huh? I think my little brother posted that for the first time. That was hilarious. Is that Forky? Wait a minute, that is hilarious. Listen, don't forget, today's show was brought to you by the Erica J. Holloman Foundation. They'll be hosting a mammogram jam this Saturday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Mango's Tropical Oasis. Frozen drinks and seafood. If you've never gone to Mango's, well, this Saturday, Mango's is going pink to raise awareness about triple-negative breast cancer. So join us this Saturday, October the 5th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Mango's. Mango's is located at 7121 Dixie Highway in Fairfield for an afternoon of music and fun. Music, fun, and mammograms. When was your last mammogram? The Tri-Health Mammogram Van will be available for breast cancer screenings. They'll be on location. And please take care of yourself. I'm telling you, it happens real fast. Let me explain something here. I didn't get a chance to explain. I posted this a couple days ago. So back on September the 30th, which I believe was it a Sunday night? It was Monday night. So Monday night, I'm at home. We're eating dinner. We're all sitting down eating dinner together. The wifey prepared like some roasted chicken. I was smashing. Boy, we had some sweet potatoes on the side and greens. Smashing. Okay? I hear a sound. Thud. I'm like, damn. It sounded like a fender bender, or it sounded like somebody had ran into my garage door. You know what I'm saying? Because garage doors, they make a pretty, distinct sound. I look outside the window, look at my car. I don't see anybody. I don't see anything. I look across the street, and somebody had driven a car into a building, into a house. It's a young sister lives across the street from us. And remember I used to tell you I had a neighbor who I really liked. He was an older black dude. He was a G. Man, I miss this dude. He was a G. Love having neighbors that got heart. Well, he passed away, and I believe now his granddaughter lives in that home. Yeah, we all into it. We know each other. I go outside. I look in the window. I'm like, damn. I'm like, now I got to go save somebody. So I put my food down. I'm smashing, y'all. Roasted chicken breast. The skin tastes so great. I mean, smashing my sweet potato, the greens, it had the peppers, the onions, the whole 9 yards, the garlic, just the way I like it. I had to put that down, put my shoes on, go outside, because I'm thinking, man, is this car going to blow up? So there's an apartment building that's to the side of a house. The house faces me. The apartment building faces another street, but their parking lot faces the side of the home. And I've been thinking to myself for years that somebody was going to drive over it because there's no railing. Man, some Asian dude. So I put my shoes on. I'm running over there. It's not too far. I go across the street. It's gasoline. I'm like, here we go. Now I got to go to Superman mode. And I'm thinking I got to go over here and pull somebody out the car. When I walked over there was an Asian dude. He's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm like, you drove off the side. That's what happened. I mean, I bet you he was terrified because it's about 5 feet. 5 feet. So what must have happened was he's up and you can see the images, right? He must have hit a drive, but he meant to go in reverse. And he's so close to the edge that it don't take but just a little bit. He slid straight over. The car slides over. The car is not upside down, but basically it's sitting like, it's like vertical, like with the license plates on the ground, right? Crashed into the car. This young sister's outside and her dog. The dog's like yapping at me. I'm like, what's up, man? You know, I know dogs. I grew up with dogs. He's yapping, yap. Dude's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm like, this idiot, you know what happened. You put the car in drive, it's supposed to be in reverse. So, you know, luckily the car, he had turned the car off. There were no sparks. I was afraid that it was going to spark a flame and somebody was going to burn to death in there. Damn, I don't know if he was doing drugs. He didn't seem like it. It could have just been an honest mistake, you know, just moving too fast. So to me, I just take it as an example of just like, you know, for me and myself. Like sometimes you can learn from other people's mistakes. So just make sure when you're in drive, you're in drive. When you're in park, you're in park. We've all done that before. I put the car in park and reverse and thought I was going forward. But typically, I'm not in a situation like that. Like I might be at Kroger parking lot or something like that, or I'm at the park or something, pulling away, and I'm thinking, you know, sometimes that stuff can happen. But man, it was quite interesting. Man, it was a 21st century scene because, you know, I was out there in my video. I did a little commentary and posted it. And then I looked up. My wife was like, what you out there with your camera? I said, that's what I do. I'm in the media. Why you got here with your camera? Oh, going on Facebook Live. She's like, you go Facebook Live? I said, no, I didn't go Facebook Live. As if that was the difference. I put a video up after that. And then we looked outside the window maybe about 20 minutes later. Man, the whole neighborhood was out there going Facebook Live, taking videos as they was trying to move the... You don't see that every day. You don't see a car drive off what essentially is a cliff and hit a building. You don't see that every day. But luckily, I didn't have to get burned to death to save somebody. And I went back in the house. I was like, where's my plate? Found my plate. And I went back to smashing. Somebody posted on here, people being all soft. Somebody was like, did you have to be... Brother... So who wrote this? Charles wrote... This is Charles Holmes. He wrote, does he really have to be called an idiot? Come on, bro. No, he is an idiot. Because if that was me, I'd be thinking to myself, damn you, what the hell? It was idiotic. Dumb shit I just did. Yeah, it was idiotic. Pay attention. Like, if you drive a car into a building, what are you going to say to yourself about yourself? Are you going to say, hey, Gold Star, way to go? Or are you going to say, I do this dumb shit for it? That's what you're going to say to yourself, right? I just said it on Facebook. No difference. People are always trying to throw hate in the game. Yeah. And man, it was, there was some substance. At first I thought it was gas. It could have been window washer fluid, it could have been motor oil, it could have been whatever it was, but it was definitely something coming from the engine that was trickling down her driveway and into the street. I didn't know if it was gas or not. If it was gasoline, what does it take to spark something like that? You know what I'm saying? That could have been a bad situation, but all in all, nobody was hurt. It was just one Asian guy. It was a younger Asian guy. I never really seen him before. And he seemed to be okay. He was pissed off at himself. He was cussing himself off out at the end. Like, oh, my God. I guess it messed up his day. His car was trashed, totaled. They came later and towed it from the top. And everybody was out there taking videos. And that was about it. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I posted it and haven't talked about it since then. That happened back on Monday. But that's the backstory on it. I'm in here smashing my chicken breast, man, sweet potatoes and greens. This fool over here crashing into houses. Man, go do that somewhere else. Ah, man. What are you supposed to do, man? Can't live with them, can't live without them. People, right? Can't live with them, can't live without them. Are there any residual thoughts here? No. Drop writes, Nate got the big piece of chicken. I did. Mike Jones writes, mac and cheese? No. TNT writes, is the CCW class 10-12? No, it's 10-13. 10-13, that's a Sunday. So, listen, have a great day. The talk show has flipped. Said that about Ajat at the same time. Nathan wasn't having that discussion then. No, I did have that discussion then. Yeah, I did. Yeah, when Ajit Pie, because the progressive community wasn't happy about it. When Ajit, I've been watching net neutrality way before it became an issue, just because it means something to me. I understand this. So when Obama nominated Ajit Pai, I didn't like it. I talked about it on the air. I thought it was a blunder back then too. And it was widely talked about within certain media circles. I would say more left-leaning media circles. And there was a lot of outrage about it because it was clear that this guy had interests that appeared to be opposite of the goals of the Obama administration when it came to net neutrality. So it's still a hair scratcher on that one. I'm still trying to figure that out. But it is what it is, and we are where we are. Have a great day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up. Have a great day, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.